Predicting greatness. Andy Murray's surprising prediction about Emma Raducanu before her U.S. Open win. In the world of tennis, certain moments feel like destiny. Certain victories etch themselves into history. And then there are moments of foresight, rare, almost prophetic insights that only the truly attuned can see before the world catches on. One such moment came before the 2021 U.S. Open, when Andy Murray, a British tennis legend and two-time Wimbledon champion, made a prediction that would surprise many but ultimately prove eerily accurate. Emma Raducanu was destined for greatness. Murray's words, spoken months before Raducanu's historic run, went largely unnoticed at the time. Few could imagine that an 18-year-old qualifier, ranked outside the top 150, would capture the world's attention, culminating in an astonishing U.S. Open victory. Yet Murray, observing from the sidelines, recognized something others missed: a spark, a poise, and a mental fortitude that signaled the arrival of a new era in British tennis. This is the story of that prediction, the events that followed, and how Raducanu's meteoric rise reshaped not only the sport, but the dreams of countless young athletes across the UK. The scene before the storm. It was early 2021. The tennis season had resumed with cautious optimism after the pandemic disruptions, and players around the world were recalibrating their schedules, training, and goals. Andy Murray, ever the student of the game even as a veteran player, had his eyes on a younger generation, rising stars who might carry British tennis forward. Among them, Murray noticed Emma Raducanu. She was young, talented, and composed beyond her years, displaying remarkable efficiency and strategic intelligence on court. While she had not yet made headlines with deep Grand Slam runs, there was a quiet confidence in her game that caught Murray's attention. In an interview with British media, Murray remarked, "I've seen a few juniors come and go, but Emma has something different. She's calm, she thinks the game well, and I wouldn't be surprised if she makes a serious impact in the next year or so." At the time, the comment was treated as supportive yet cautious. Andy Murray was known for his honesty, but few predicted just how prescient his words would become. Emma Raducanu, the rising talent. Raducanu's rise had been steady but unassuming. Born in 2002, she trained rigorously under dedicated coaches, combining speed, precision, and tactical intelligence. She had shown promise in junior tournaments, but most observers consider her still in the development phase. Despite her relative obscurity, Murray noticed her composure under pressure, a rare trait for someone so young. He had seen players falter in high-stakes matches, their nerves betraying them. Not Raducanu. She remained calm, executing strategies with clarity and confidence. Murray's prediction hinged not just on her technical skill, but on her mental fortitude. In tennis, especially at the highest level, a strong mind can outweigh even the most experienced opponent. Murray, having faced countless intense moments himself, knew this better than anyone. He sensed that Raducanu possessed the mental tools to succeed at the very top. The U.S. Open journey, validating prediction. Fast forward to the 2021 U.S. Open. Emma Raducanu entered the tournament as a qualifier, a status that, in most cases, meant a grueling journey just to make into the main draw. Few gave her a realistic chance to progress deep into the tournament. The media and fans treated her as an interesting storyline, but not a serious contender. Yet match after match, Raducanu defied expectations. Her composure, tactical brilliance, and fearless shot-making made her an unstoppable force. Every point she played reflected what Murray had seen months earlier, a player with mental clarity, adaptability, and an unshakable belief in herself. From the opening rounds to the final, she overcame higher-ranked opponents with an almost cinematic grace. Observers began to realize that this was no ordinary breakout. This was history in the making, the historic victory. When Raducanu finally lifted the U.S. Open trophy, she did so without dropping a set, a feat unparalleled in modern tennis for a qualifier. The magnitude of the achievement stunned the world, not just because of her youth or ranking, but because of the complete dominance and composure she displayed. Murray's prediction had come true in the most spectacular fashion. British media highlighted his earlier comments, showcasing how his insight foreshadowed the incredible triumph. "I said she would make an impact, and she didn't just make an impact, She became a champion, rewriting the narrative for British tennis. Murray later remarked, reflecting on the historic moment. For Raducanu, the validation of Murray's prediction was more than a compliment. It was acknowledgement from a player who had faced the same intense scrutiny, expectations, and pressure at the highest levels of tennis. Impact on British tennis. Raducanu's U.S. Open victory marked a turning point for British tennis in several ways. Inspiration for the next generation. Players like Sonia Cardle and Jodie Bird cited Raducanu's win as proof that British talent could triumph on the world stage, even against overwhelming odds. Renewed national interest. Tennis saw a surge in youth participation across the UK, with many young girls now seeing the sport as accessible and attainable. Media and sponsorship attention. British tennis players received increased visibility and financial support, strengthening the infrastructure for future champions. Mental resilience as a focus. Coaches emphasized psychological preparation, recognizing that Raducanu's mental fortitude was as critical as her technical skill. For young players, belief and resilience can unlock potential even when rankings and experience suggest otherwise. For British tennis, sustained success requires fostering a culture that celebrates both skill and mindset. Raducanu's continued success, along with Murray's mentorship, formal or informal, signals that British tennis is entering a renaissance where young talent is empowered and supported. Conclusion: predicting history. Andy Murray's prediction about Emma Raducanu before her U.S. Open victory was more than a casual comment. It was a moment of foresight that anticipated the rise of a new tennis icon. Raducanu's subsequent achievements validated his insight, inspiring a generation of British players to believe in themselves and aim higher than ever before. For Emma Raducanu, the U.S. Open victory was a realization of her potential. For Andy Murray, it was proof of his perceptive understanding of the game and the minds of its future stars. And for British tennis, it was the beginning of a new era, a reminder that greatness can arrive unexpectedly and that belief, guidance, and vision are as powerful as talent itself. The prediction, the victory, and the ripple effect together form a narrative that will be remembered not just for the trophy, but for the inspiration it sparked, a testament to how foresight and opportunity can converge to shape history. British tennis now looks forward, with Raducanu blazing the trail, Murray offering wisdom, and young players like Sonia Cardle following the footsteps of greatness, driven by the knowledge that sometimes a single prediction can illuminate an entire future. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.